Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tim Credeur with Ragin FC. I'm here with Elliot Be Good Hebert. Elliot has been a staple in Louisiana MMA for the last many years as an amateur and as a pro, but more for his extremely entertaining style. He comes out to Electric Avenue. People love it. He is, if you know Elliot, he is a wonderful guy, but he is definitely marching to the beat of his own drummer, who is unnamed yet. Elliot's an incredible athlete. He was an incredible athlete at Turlings. I believe your dad coached wrestling at Turlings. He had two older brothers who were great athletes. Elliot played a little bit of college football out of state and found MMA a couple years later, and has just blown up in the Louisiana scene since then. He's going to be fighting Nakia Brown from UFC Gym, T-Web MMA in Baton Rouge. That fight was supposed to happen on another card. It fell through, and we were able to put it together. Are you excited about this fight?
I am. I think it's a great opportunity to test myself against some of the best talent in Louisiana, and I really look forward to an awesome showcase of athleticism and pure grit with Nakia Brown.
I feel like, with a fight or two more, Elliot, you're kind of getting to the place where there's no one really left in Louisiana. We're going to have to bring people from Florida or California or New York. Your career is kind of getting to a trajectory where it's bigger than Louisiana. I don't think you have a ton of fights left in Louisiana, honestly. What does that feel like for you as an athlete, knowing that you're kind of getting to the point where you're on the precipice of going from more of like the local scene to more of the regional and even national scene? How does that feel as an athlete, and do you feel you're ready for that kind of transition?
Yeah, it feels great to be recognized as one of the best in the state, and I look forward to just staying disciplined and displaying extreme focus and trying to really hone in on the professionalism of the sport and just showcase the talent that I've been blessed with. And I've got a great family around me, a great team of people that really truly support me and love me and accept me for who I am. And I'm just grateful to be able to have that opportunity to do that in front of those people. And win or lose, I got a great life, and I'm excited about the future of everything that Ragin FC is doing. And I look forward to being a part of the show in the years to come.
I think as an athlete, we have some transitions, right? You transition from like an amateur to a pro, and then kind of on a local level to a regional level, and then to a national and international level. Those are some big transitions, and they have a pronounced effect as an athlete. But there are other things that happen in life outside of fighting that also create some transition periods, right? For me, those things were kind of like becoming a dad, coaching my own athletes. Those were things that were like had a profound effect on me. And I didn't have the ability to kind of communicate because no one really cares about that stuff. They don't talk about it. But it changed me as a person. I think being a parent made me a lot different as a man. And I know in the last 2 or 3 years, you have opened your own gym and you're training your own athletes and you've become a father and a husband. And those things are real significant life events that, change our mentality and how we approach the world and also how we approach fighting. I remember there was a time where I was fighting for Tim and I could care less. But then there was a time where I was fighting to buy my wife a house. And that was a different thing. I showed up at that fight knowing if I won, I could buy her a house. And if I lost, I couldn't. And that was a different kind of pressure. And I feel like you're kind of getting to some of that point in your life where there's dynamics outside of fighting that are substantial for you. What's that like as a man kind of going through that process?
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Tim. It's been a true blessing to learn under you, and then also be able to start a gym where I work with athletes that don't necessarily have a role model or a family figure. So we love to be kind of that for some people, and it comes from and it starts at home. You know, like I have a young daughter and a wife that I love, and I want to do, you know, the same thing for one day. And so for me to do that, I need to elevate my game and take this on a national level. And I'm ready to start competing against some of the best fighters in the country. I really want to start getting those high-paying, you know, purses and bonuses. And
don't we all?
So you know, I expect, you know, nothing but fireworks. I need first-round knockouts, first-round finishes.
Yeah.
You know, when we talked about this fight, I asked, can we work something out where, you know, and he even offered, Ragin FC does finish bonuses. They pay, you know, fighters cash for bonuses on the spot in the cage, and I think that's a great opportunity to share the wealth and to, you know, find a way to help young fighters and athletes make money in the sport locally and nationally. I think it's a great thing that you guys are doing.
Incentivize greatness. Yeah. That's what we need. Well, before we go, I think Nakia's a wonderful talent. How do you see this fight breaking down, and what can the RFC fans expect from Elliot Hebert on June 14th? Father's Day weekend, by the way.
Yeah, so you can expect to see a completely different Elliot Be Good Hebert. I'm coming back with the old name because I'm getting back to my roots in this and why I started doing this. I wanted to be a good influence, a good reputation, and I think that's what Nakia is. He's got a young daughter at home. He's got a job. He works full-time, and he trains every single day, and it takes a real savage to do that. So I look forward to putting together some high-powered offense mixed with some unexpected wrestling, which is probably more expected than unexpected, but I will definitely be throwing bombs this fight. You can guarantee frog hands will be on display, and you can guarantee an exciting performance.
Last thing, the other day we were all training at Eric's, and, you know, I think for some people, they don't really understand, but you've always been in the room with a bunch of guys who have made it to the highest levels of the sport, you know? Eric, Dustin, Danger, AJ Fletcher, and Andrea Lee, and just you've had UFC fighters in your training room for your whole career. And recently, we were training at Eric's, and Dustin's there training, and we're all training together. And so, what is that like for you as a young fighter? And I'm not saying you're a young fighter, but young in your career, coming up and seeing that opportunity is just arm's length from you. What does that feel like as a fighter in the room?
Yeah, it's actually a really fascinating story. I'm glad you asked, Tim, because I actually been knowing Dustin since I was 9 years old. His story is just an incredible story of adversity and just pure willpower to get where he is today. And, you know, from the time he was about 12 years old, I looked at him as, you know, somebody who could possibly become a world champion one day. And I was thinking kickboxing. And he was actually on the wrestling team with us. And the guy had a never say die attitude from day one. I mean, he was picking out the toughest guys in the room and in the neighborhood and on the schoolyard. And he's calling them out daily because that's what he needed as a young man. He needed this outlet to express himself and be a leader in such a tumultuous world today. And it's good to see Dustin where he's at, and to be in that room and asking him, you know, how many times do you spar a week, you know, when you're getting ready for these fights, and, you know, how many rounds are you doing, and what type of gloves are you wearing, and to get to, he jumped the ghillie on me about 10 times, and look, I get it.
You can't stop.
It's probably not the most sound a tactic in the octagon, but what it does do is it depletes the person defending's oxygen so much that it's definitely going to make them make some bad decisions, and they have to address that choke. So, you know, say what you want, but, you know, the guillotine works, and I think it's always going to work. And so, you know, it's cool to see, you know, Dustin in the room and sharing the space with us, sharing his expertise, sharing his knowledge, and just getting to wrestle with Eric Scallon, a college wrestler, getting to be coached by Tim, UFC legend, and to be on the mats today and see his style of training today and where he's at. It just shows the depth of his experience and his knowledge, and breaking down these games for us to get better. And to keep the animosity out of the room, and to keep it fun, but also to the point, and very hard work. I mean, it was definitely the hardest practice I've had in a long time, and I look forward to continuing this friendship and relationship going on in the future.
Great job. Hey, Elliot, Be Good Hebert, whether you come or not, when Elliot fights, people don't sit down. You're out of your seats screaming. Elliot's an incredible talent. We're so excited to have you at RFC2. Guys, join us at Ragin FC2 June 14th at the Cajundome. Elliot Be Good Hebert is going to be representing for all the dads in the crowd. We're so proud to have you. We'll see you there.